we've evaluated functions, we've determined if something's a function, we have graph functions. Now we're going to write our own functions or come up with our own relationship between the independent and dependent variable. So first way we're going to do it is looking at a table. So in a table, what you're trying to look for is, what am I doing with the x value to get the y value? So I notice that the y value is actually called f of x, so I'm going to first write f of x equals, and now I have to figure out, what do I do with x to get y? So you might see the pattern already. I can see that it's linear because as we're going up by 1 in the x direction, we're going up by 1 in the y direction. So that kind of gives me my slope. Slope is change in the y, or the f of x, over change in the x. So every up 1 you go up 1 over here. So the slope is 1. That goes in front of the x value. So I can either write x or 1x. Now what's our starting point? What's the value when y or an x is 0? So what I do is I look at my table and I write 0, and I keep, because I'm following the pattern here. If I had x was 0, y would have to be 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Y would have to be 4. So this is going to be x plus 4. Letter B. Oh, and then I should always check it. If I plug in 1, is 1 plus 4 5? Yes. If I plug in 2, is 2 plus 4 6? Yes. If I plug in 3, is 3 plus 7, or 3 plus 4 7? Yep. So it works. And then B. So let's look if it's linear. So I'm going up 1, up 1, up 1. So I'm changing 1 here. Is the change the same? The change is up 1 here as well. So that gives me my slope. So the slope is change in y over change in x. So it's 1 divided by 1, which is 1. I'm going to write f of x equals x times 1. So that's just x, or 1x. Plus, now what's my y-intercept? What value is it when x is 0? What is y equal to? So if I kept the pattern up, 2, 1, 0, -1, this would be -2 if I added that to my table. So this function is x plus -2, or f of x equals x minus 2, to simplify that. Letter C. So I'm going up 1, 1, 1. I'm going up 2, 2, 2. So the slope is 2 divided by 1, so it's 2. I'm going to use y equals 2x. Now my y-intercept is, if I add 0 to the table, what would this value be? Well, it would be 0. So it's y equals 2x plus 0, or just y equals 2x. And then D, I'm going to write y equals, and I'm going up 1, up 1, up 1, and I'm going up 1, up 1, up 1. So the slope is 1, or x. So I have 1x. And if I keep the pattern going, this would be 0, and this would be 2. So it's x plus 2. And then sometimes you have to write a function given words. So write a function rule to calculate the cost, C of P. So they're asking us, or it reads that we have to do C of P equals of buying bananas, and they tell us what the variable needs to be, which is P, or you always need to make sure the variable is the same thing as this variable. So the cost of buying bananas, that costs 39 cents a pound. So if you had to buy 1 pound, you would multiply 0.39 times 1. If you had to buy 2 pounds, you would multiply 0.39 times 2. So you're going to take 0.39 and multiply it by P. So that's my function. How much would it cost to buy 3.5 pounds? So I want to use function notation, so I'm going to do 3 or C of 3.5 equals 0.39 times 3.5. So I'm going to multiply 0.39 times 3.5. And I get 1.365. But since we're talking about money, I want to round to the nearest 2 cents, so it's $1.37. And I want to use dollar symbol. So I know the question's not asking us, but would this be a discrete or continuous situation? This would actually be continuous because you can buy bananas parts of a pound. If you just pick up a banana, it does not weigh exactly 1 pound. But if you bought the bananas in bunches, then it would be discrete. If it would be like $5 for this bunch of bananas. Okay, 2, to rent a cabin, the resort charges $50 plus $10 per day. Write a function rule to calculate the total cost, C of D, of renting the cabin for D days. So the total cost equals $50, so $50 is what you have to pay no matter what, plus $10 per day. Now if you read per day or per person or per pet, then that means that you're multiplying. So this is going to be 10D. What would the cost be for 6 days? So C of 6 equals 50 plus 10 times 6. So this would be $110. This situation would be a discrete situation because you're buying it per day. So the cabin's not gonna charge you for 1.35 days. You're just gonna buy it one day at a time. So that's discrete. So if you graphed it, you would not connect the points. Number 3, pens are shipped to the office supply store in boxes of 12 each. Write a function rule to calculate the total number of pens when you know the number of boxes. So I'm going to write P of B equals, okay, this one's kind of tricky. So if you know, never mind, calculate the total number of pens if you know the boxes, not the other way around. So if you have one box, you have 12 pens. If you have 2 boxes, you have 24 pens. So what you're doing is you're taking 12 and you're multiplying it by B. Find the total number of pens in 16 boxes. So let B be 16. So it's P of 16 equals 12 times 16. So you do 12 times 16 and you get 192. So 192, don't forget your units, which is pens. Now this would be a discrete situation because you can't buy parts of a box or parts of a pen, so it would be discrete. Number 4, you invest $209 to buy shirts and then sell them for $9.50 each. Write a function rule to determine your profit, P of X, after selling X shirts. So P of X equals, so the profit that you make is you invest $209. So that means that you have spent $209. So that's a negative $209. You are in the hole until you start selling lots of shirts. But you're going to sell them for $9.50 the shirts. $9.50 per shirt. So if you sell one shirt, you're not going to make a profit. You're going to still be in the hole. If you still sell 2 shirts, you're still going to be in the hole. That's why this is a negative number. If I would have made this positive, I would make a profit no matter what. B, what is your profit after selling 24 shirts? So I do P of 24 equals negative 209 plus 9.5 times 24. So I get $19. So if you sell 24 shirts, you still make $19. How many shirts do you need to sell to get back your investment? So when is your profit equal to 0? So if I let profit be 0, so I'm going to let this part be 0 equals negative 209 plus 9.50x. It's asking for how many shirts, so that's why I know I keep the variable x as the number of shirts. So I'm going to add 209 to each side, 9.5x, and I'm going to divide both sides by 9.5. So I do 209 divided by 9.5, and I get 22. So it's exactly 22. Make sure you put a unit, shirts. Now this would be a discrete situation too, because I can't buy and sell parts of a shirt. Even though money can be decimals, I cannot take parts of a shirt.